Hello class. Today I'm going to be talking about the events of September 11th, 2001, what happened on that day, and what has been happening since then. At the time, Osama bin Laden was the leader of an Islamic extremist group known as Al-Qaeda. He was not there that day, but he hired 19 men to do the work for him, the leader being Mohammed Atta from Egypt. 15 of them were from Saudi Arabia, 2 from the United Arab Emirates, and 1 from Lebanon. Now, this was not the first attack that Osama bin Laden tried on the World Trade Center. He actually first attempted to blow it up back in 1993, but was unsuccessful. In 2001, he was successful, and it was the first huge it was the first American attack on U.S. soil, excluding Pearl Harbor. Um, the reason for this was the Muslim Jihad, which is known as Holy War, and at the time, the World Trade Centers were the symbolic economic power of America. It showed our power and prosperity. And since the Muslims couldn't destroy all of America, they knew that by hitting the towers would be very symbolic as to them destroying and weakening our power. Um, Now, terrorism, as defined by the FBI, is an unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government, the civilian population, or any segment thereof in furtherance of political or social objectives. And that is exactly what they did when they hit the towers. It occurred in the morning of September 11th, and later that evening, around 5:30, it was 5:20 actually, the World Trade Center 7 collapsed. Two of the planes hit the two towers, once in the north and once in the south tower, and one plane hit the Pentagon as well. The fourth plane crashed into the ground in Pennsylvania in a random field. Because of this, when the planes hit the tower, the jet fuel, the impact of it created the jet fuel to explode, and it weakened the steel support trusses, which made the buildings collapse. And the fires were so hot that they raged on for 99 days after the towers collapsed. It cost $750 million to clean it up, and it took 3.1 million hours of labor. Uh, they finally cleaned it up on May 30th of 2002, which was 8 months later. Um, a couple days after the attack, the all of the aircraft were grounded in America for the next 3 days, which had never happened before in America, but they had to do it. And ever since then, airport security has been securely tightened. It's very hectic in airports. Um, the terrorists were believed to have used box cutters, but this is actually not true. What they used were metal utility knives with blades less than 4 inches, because at that time they could be carried on planes, usually in luggage, depending on if you got through the security. At the time of the attacks, George Bush was sitting in a classroom reading books to students when the first tower was struck. And he took immediate action and um, declared war on Iraq and Afghanistan, which has been going on for a long time, and still kind of is with all the oil and whatnot. This past year, earlier 2015, the One World Freedom Tower was finally completely built in remembrance of the two towers that were struck. It is called the One World Freedom Tower, and Obama signed the paper himself saying, "We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger." Thanks for listening. These are my notes that I used, and I hope you enjoyed it.